In the first episode of this salt-free softening system, we installed this Springwell FS4 in the customer's garage. Well, a few days later, I got a call back for a strange noise running through the house. And Troubleshooting 101 says the first thing to check is the most recent change to the system. Well, this softener is a pretty fucking big change, and this mysterious humming noise could be caused by a few different things. Sometimes these corrugated flex supplies can make these noises when the rubber washer is out of alignment or squeezed too tightly. As the water rushes by, it can cause these seals to vibrate if the water movement goes by at just the right frequency. This case is very strange because when I shut the bypass off, the noise changes, but it's still there. If the low wail of the banshee is still present when the new system is isolated, then the new system is far less likely to be the culprit. I then turned my gaze to the pressure regulator as the most likely cause of this ghostly scream. Because the house is brand new and the owner just moved in a couple of months ago, I was extremely hesitant to touch it. That 1.25" regulator should be under warranty, so if it is the cause and I mess with it, I would void the warranty and the customer would have to pay out of his own pocket. So, as a process of elimination, I decided to replace that first flex line with a hard copper pipe and see if that made any difference, even though I was 95% sure it was the regulator. Well, it did make a big difference, and the noise got exponentially worse. This is why a 3-valve bypass is so important in these systems, along with hose spigots on the inlets and outlets, so testing these kinds of issues can be a lot simpler. I also made a phone call to Springwell to cover all the bases and see if they could tell me something I hadn't thought of. The tech that helped me had a lot of great input and asked me to pressure test before and after the system to see how much drop there was. Incoming pressure was 52, outgoing was 48, and 4 psi pressure drop is normal. I informed the customer to call the contractor that built the house to see if they could look at the regulator and get it covered under warranty. A few days later, I followed up with the customer to see how things were going, and he had stopped using his system altogether. He wasn't comfortable calling the contractor for this issue, and I wasn't about to let him avoid using that expensive new system because of a silly water ghost. Unfortunately, I don't have footage of the repair, but I insisted on showing up, and I increased the pressure on the regulator. If he wasn't going to have it covered under warranty, then there was no reason for me not to at least try to get it fixed. I tightened the bolt on the top of the unit to increase the pressure by about 20 psi, from 50 to 70. As soon as that happened, the water ghost was banished back to plumbing hell. The customer was finally able to enjoy his new system, and I was able to turn that gross-looking flex line into something more presentable. If you're interested in the full troubleshooting process, check out the full video on my channel.